He raped her so hard she died?
Is being held down on a bed so an adult man can her.
Who killed her?
10-year-old girl was supposed to be celebrating her birthday. She had talked about cake, about lip gloss, about the necklace her aunt had bought her with the words, "From Auntie Laura," engraved on the back. Friends remembered her smile. Neighbors remembered her excitement. She wanted a manicure instead of toys. This was supposed to be a joyful day, but August 23, 2016 would not end the way anyone expected. That morning, in Albuquerque, New Mexico, Victoria Martens boarded her school bus like countless other children. She was cheerful, chatting about her birthday plans. Teachers and classmates would later recall that nothing seemed out of the ordinary. For them, it was just another Tuesday. For Victoria, it was her last. As the day turned to evening, the atmosphere around the Arroyo Villas apartments began to shift. Neighbors reported seeing unfamiliar faces coming and going. Raised voices could be heard in the distance, but few could have predicted the nightmare that was unfolding behind those walls. Victoria's mother, 35-year-old Michelle Martens, had been dating a man named Fabian Gonzales for only a short time. Gonzales had recently moved in with Michelle and Victoria. Just days before, he had also brought along his cousin, Jessica Kelley, a woman with a long criminal record, freshly released from prison. The apartment that once belonged only to a mother and her daughter was suddenly crowded with dangerous company. That night at around 10 p.m., witnesses reported something strange. Jessica Kelley carrying young Victoria up the stairs of the apartment. It would be the last time anyone outside that home saw her alive. By the early hours of the morning, the situation spiraled. At 4:30 a.m. on August 24th, police received a call to the apartment complex. At first, it was described as a disturbance, maybe a domestic fight, maybe an assault. Nothing suggested what officers were truly about to encounter. When patrol cars pulled into the quiet neighborhood, they found Michelle Martens outside, distressed and shaken. Fabian was nearby, his clothes showing signs of blood. Both claimed Jessica had become violent, that she had attacked them inside the apartment with an iron. They said she was dangerous. They said she was out of control. Officers approached cautiously. Smoke was seeping from inside. Alarms blared. The front door was forced open, revealing a haze of smoke and a trail of chaos. And then, the locked bathroom door, what lay behind it would forever change the lives of everyone involved. The discovery inside was so disturbing that officers could barely process it. A child's body, dismembered, wrapped in a burning blanket, hidden in the tub, parts placed into trash bags. The crime scene was beyond comprehension. Her mother's boyfriend, and his cousin were all arrested at the scene. From that moment forward, the question wasn't just what happened, it was why. With 3 suspects in custody, detectives separated them into different rooms. Each of them was about to spin their own version of events. What detectives heard over the next several hours was a tangle of lies, contradictions, and chilling admissions. Michelle tried to play the grieving mother. She spoke about Victoria's love of gymnastics, coloring, and math. She told detectives she had named her daughter Victoria because she had always dreamed of that name for a little girl. She cried. She trembled. She claimed she was too scared to call police because there were drugs in the house.
I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to call the cops because then they probably would have stopped me from trying to do that.
Okay.
I didn't know what to do.
There's another reason that you didn't call the police, though, isn't there? Why didn't you call police?
Because there was drugs in the house.
Okay.
And I didn't want them to think it was mine because it's not.
Okay. And I understand. That I understand. Okay. I mean, there's drugs in the house. You don't want to get in trouble. Okay. So you check on your daughter. And what do you find?
She wasn't breathing when I went in there.
Okay. Was she dead?
She was.
Okay. I'm so sorry.
But almost immediately, Michelle's story began to crack. At first, she said she checked on Victoria and saw her breathing. Then she said Jessica carried Victoria down the stairs, wrapped in a blanket, already lifeless. A moment later, she claimed Victoria had accidentally ingested meth from the coffee table. Then, she insisted Jessica had stabbed her.
When I checked on her, she seemed to be breathing. Because I checked, I always look at her stomach. See it was going up and down. And that was the last time that I checked on her.
Okay.
Fabian said he was going to go check on her for me.
Okay. But you said that Jessica stabbed her in the stomach? Okay. Why?
It's like they were taking turns at her.
Okay. And when you saw this, you didn't call 911 because you were afraid that the cops were going to know that there were drugs in the house?
And that they were going to kill me right there on the spot.
Okay.
Her narrative shifted with every question. But detectives didn't interrupt. They let the contradictions build, stacking on top of one another like cards in a house destined to collapse. Meanwhile, in another room, Fabian Gonzales denied everything. He claimed he was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He insisted Jessica was the one responsible. When detectives pointed out that his clothes were suspiciously clean, Fabian gave one of the strangest explanations investigators had ever heard. He said the sprinklers outside had gone off, soaking him.
Not saying that I would have, but I would have tried like this.
So when I asked you about taking a shower, I don't know why you don't want to answer that for me, and you're telling me about the sprinklers, but let me just explain
I
something.
told you that morning when I got ready.
Yeah.
But I was in my pajamas when I woke up, and she woke us up and did all that, okay? I don't think it was my
should have, if you didn't shower, a lot of blood on your smears, and your nails are very clean.
I was
hands
cleaning
look
up in
clean.
there, just trying to get it out. But what I'm saying is I ran through the sprinklers and I was soaked, soaking wet when I knocked on that door.
Well, isn't the apartment that you went to, it's right next to yours, it's in that court, so the
Yes, but when I
sprinklers
jumped
don't...
off, I ran in the back of the wrong because I was scared. I didn't know that she had people, like she threatened me, saying that they're coming for me, they should be there for me any minute. She told me that's scary, that scared me too, okay? Along with everything else.
Okay.
So I ran in the back and sprinklers were all on and I was just running through the whole sprinklers all the way around just to see if she had someone waiting for me.
The detectives didn't buy it. They pressed him about DNA evidence. Fabian became defensive, adamant that his DNA would never be found on Victoria.
We are. My question just flat out. If for what reason would we find your DNA on Victoria, on her body, on her clothes, or even inside of her body? And I know that sounds horrible, but I have to ask the question.
No. Hell no. No, man. That's crazy, man. I know you have to ask that question.
Yeah, we just have to ask.
No damn way.
Any reason I'm going to find any of your DNA in her fingernails from her fighting with you or scratching you?
Nope. Jessica. I'm telling you right now, that's the only one I can think of right now because she's the one that wouldn't try to do that to us. She tried killing us for Christ's sakes. I wouldn't do something like that to nobody, no matter what situation or what. I just never even thought like that. I don't have it in me, okay?
The problem with such absolute denials is that when evidence proves otherwise, the entire story collapses. Detectives knew they had an advantage. 3 suspects, 3 stories. And the more those stories conflicted, the closer they could get to the truth. Michelle said the fight had spilled into Victoria's bedroom. Fabian said he was never in the room at all. But under pressure, Fabian stumbled.
And what you're telling us, it's not matching up.
Okay, so what's not matching up now?
Well, let's start with this, Fabian. We're talking to your girl right now,
Okay.
and you said at any point tonight did you go into Victoria's room? Did you look in there, open the door? Did you ever go into Victoria's room?
No.
Okay.
No.
So right off the bat, either you or Michelle is full of because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing with you, Jess, and Michelle didn't take place in the kitchen.
Remember, I told you after the kitchen. That's when she That's when she was trying to yell for Victoria to try to check on her too. It's recorded. I said that.
No,
remember?
You said that you guys were yelling for Victoria and that you never could go over there because Jess was in the room. According to Michelle, you 3 were fighting physically in Victoria's bedroom. All 3 of you, all inside the bedroom. In the bedroom.
By the door.
No, in the bedroom. So that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, well.
So listen to me. I'm not asking. Listen to me. I'm not asking you to talk. I'm letting you know. You asked me what are the differences. So I'm telling you. So every time you interrupt me, I can't tell you what the difference is, right?
Yes.
So I'm trying. Listen to me. Stop. Do you want to know when you interrupt me every 2 seconds? You want to know what that looks to me like? Yeah. You're being deceptive. You're lying because you can't wait to explain every little bit to me because you're scared of the truth and you know the truth. Because everything that I'm saying that conflicts in your brain with what really with what really happened, you have to explain away right away. You have to let me know right away what's happening. So every time you interrupt me, I think you're lying to me. So let's just be quiet for a second and I can explain some stuff to you. Okay? Do you understand? Okay. So either you or Michelle is lying to us. Because according to Michelle, the fight that you're describing happened in Victoria's room at some point during the fight, and you were there. You were in the bedroom.
Yes, I was trying to pull Jessica off.
So you were. Hang on. So answer me this: yes or no? You were in Victoria's bedroom tonight.
I was.
Yes or no? You were in you
pulling Jessica off and trying to break up the fight.
I don't want an explanation.
Yes.
You were in Victoria's room.
Trying to break up the fight.
So then answer me.
My cousin offer.
Okay. So why? Let's go back for the last 2.5 hours we've been together.
Okay.
Why have you lied to us this whole time and insisted that at no point did you ever open the door to Victoria's room or go in Victoria's room, and now you're saying you were in the room? Explain that to me.
I misunderstood, okay?
The contradiction was glaring. If he wasn't in the room, how could he describe what happened inside? Back in Michelle's room, detectives gently pushed her further. She admitted that while Victoria's body was being cut apart, she had gone to the kitchen to make tacos.
So you know that she took and that's what killed her. Okay. So you guys, or you watch, but Jessica and Fabian cut your daughter up, Victoria. They cut her arms off. They cut her leg off. They cut her from here to here, Victoria. They cut her. And you watch, right?
I couldn't. After I saw that she was starting to cut her arm, I left.
What do you mean you left?
I went outside.
Okay. So explain to me what happened after that. You guys started cleaning up?
And they started cleaning up.
What did you do?
I was in the kitchen.
What'd you do in the
Getting
kitchen?
ready to make dinner. Making the tacos. And then Fabian took over after he was finished.
The casualness of the admission horrified even experienced investigators. As Fabian continued to deny involvement, detectives pushed him about the knife. Without being told which knife had been collected, Fabian identified one from the kitchen, leaking knowledge he shouldn't have had.
So Fabian, let me ask you this. How do we explain?
And then she took her socks off and said to me, go ahead and wear your socks with me. My socks are bloody. I was like,
okay.
Okay.
How do we explain your DNA on the knife that we found that has body tissue on it?
My DNA?
Yeah.
On what knife?
The knife that was used to stab the little girl.
My DNA?
Like on the handle, you know?
That's the knife that I used to cut the potatoes. I know what it was. It was the one. Is it not that kind of? Is it kind of big?
Like how do you know what knife it is? That's what I'm trying to
Because that's the only knife I used for potatoes. To cut the potatoes I got, and Michelle was vouching for it because we were there doing it together, and I cut them for her.
But you said Jess had the knife. So how do you know if you didn't see what knife Jess had?
Because if Jessica had got a knife, then she got the one that we used to make dinner with to cut the potatoes.
How do you know that's the knife she got?
I don't know.
You cleaned the kitchen and put everything away.
I didn't clean. I cleaned the kitchen. I didn't clean the dishes. I just put the dishes in the dishwasher.
Can I tell you this?
For detectives, it was a red flag. Innocent people don't accidentally guess the exact weapon. By the end of the night, neither Michelle nor Fabian had confessed to killing Victoria outright, but both had tangled themselves in contradictions, half-truths, and moments of chilling honesty that revealed far more than they intended. And hanging over everything was Jessica Kelley. erratic, violent, and at the center of both their stories. According to Michelle, Jessica stabbed Victoria. According to Fabian, Jessica did everything. But neither explanation aligned with the forensic evidence, nor with what investigators already knew. The question was no longer just about what Michelle and Fabian were saying. It was about what they weren't saying, because there were signs of another presence that night, a shadow figure who had not been arrested, but whose DNA was found on Victoria's body. The grim discovery inside the Martens' apartment left detectives reeling. But as shocking as the crime scene was, the bigger challenge was understanding how this could have happened, and who among the three adults was telling the truth. Each was placed in a separate interrogation room. Each was confronted with the reality of a little girl's death, and each pointed the finger at someone else. Michelle Martens, Victoria's mother, was the first to be questioned. At first, she tried to play the role of a grieving mother, crying, saying she was afraid for her life, claiming Jessica had threatened her. She insisted she had nothing to do with what happened to her daughter, but the detectives, seasoned in spotting lies, pressed harder. Piece by piece, Michelle's story began to unravel.
Can you kind of tell me why you're worried?
Because now I'm afraid they're gonna come back and kill me. I don't even want to stay home now.
Okay.
I want to get out of there.
What happens from there? There's a conversation between you and Fabian and Jessica. What is that conversation?
He said if I tell anybody that I'm gonna be the next one,
Okay.
they threatened me.
She claimed her daughter had simply stopped breathing. Then she shifted, saying she thought Victoria may have ingested something left on the table. And then, under more questioning, she admitted to seeing far more than she first let on.
And then that's what made her go to her friend's house.
Okay.
And then her friend sent her back to the house when Jessica was there. So I don't know what went on when I wasn't there. We came back and that's when I saw on the table.
Okay.
And then
Take your time.
I went to use the restroom.
Mm-hmm.
And I came back and I was gone. And Victoria was the only one in the living room. So then she said she started feeling tired, so she was gonna go to bed.
Okay.
So she went in there.
She went into her room. Okay.
And never came back out.
Okay. Did you? What happened? What happened next? Did you go check on it?
I always checked her.
Mm-hmm.
When I checked on her, she seemed to be breathing. Because I checked, I always look at her stomach. See it was going up and down.
Victoria.
They put me in the bathtub.
Because you were there. And you saw. And you watched. So what was the discussion about what was going to be done with Victoria?
I knew they were going to get rid of her, but I didn't know. I forgot this discussion.
You forgot the discussion.
I don't remember.
Okay. What happened? What happened next?
They said that if I say anything, they just kept threatening me.
Okay.
That if I say anything, I'm going to be the next one. Or I better not fall asleep. So then I just left.
So you left?
There was nothing else I could do. I didn't know what to do.
So from the time you find your daughter and she's dead, Victoria is dead in her room. Am I right? And then you leave.
Michelle went on to describe scenes that no mother should ever witness. She admitted she saw her daughter harmed, stabbed, and later dismembered. And she admitted that instead of calling for help, she turned away, even retreating to the kitchen to make dinner while her daughter's body lay in the next room. It was an admission that stunned even hardened investigators.
Your daughter went into the room and she died and you left. Or it's your daughter went into the room, you guys left, came back and found her dead. Which one is it?
The second.
So you were gone.
Yes.
You weren't even there when she was dying. Okay. And so you come back and you guys make this plan, like, great, now we're gonna get in trouble, so we gotta get rid of the body. Am I right?
Yeah, but I didn't want to have no part in it.
Okay.
It's not my fault.
But this is your daughter.
I know.
This is Victoria. This is your baby.
How did Victoria die? Do you know?
She tasted the that was on the table.
Okay, so because you said something a minute ago, you said that Jessica stabbed her.
And it was after she was already dead.
Okay.
So you know that she took and that's what killed her. Okay. So you guys, or you watch, but Jessica and Fabian cut your daughter up, Victoria. They cut her arms off. They cut her leg off. They cut her from here to here, Victoria. They cut her. And you watch, right?
I couldn't. After I saw that she was starting to cut her arm, I left.
What do you mean you left?
I went outside.
Okay. So explain to me what happened after that. You guys started cleaning up?
And they started cleaning up.
What did you do?
I was in the kitchen
What did you do in the
getting
kitchen?
ready to make dinner. Making the tacos.
Even in her shifting stories, Michelle painted herself as powerless, claiming she was threatened, claiming she feared she would be next. But detectives noticed something chilling. She showed little genuine remorse. Her tears seemed shallow, her excuses rehearsed. And the most haunting question lingered: how could a mother fail to protect her own child? In another room, Fabian Gonzales sat across from detectives. Unlike Michelle, Fabian didn't play the grieving parent role. Instead, he pushed everything onto Jessica. Jessica did it, he said repeatedly, insisting that Michelle was also lying to protect herself.
So Fabian, just off the top, we're gonna ask you this. We obviously have Victoria's body, okay?
Okay, can I ask you this real quick? Where did you find it?
Okay, so we can get into that. We have Victoria's body. Now, we're gonna do a bunch of tests and stuff. We'll collect a bunch of evidence from her body, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We can tell what kind of things were used to injure her, how she died, if something happened to her, what injuries she sustained before she died.
Maybe if they suffocated, if she suffocated or something, that's why we didn't hear. Maybe. That's probably the only real thing I can think of right now. Because I would have heard it, and I would have got up and did the same thing I done for Michelle when she was trying to get her. You know what I mean?
And so we'll be able to tell that. Did Victoria suffocate?
I don't know. Okay, I do not know if she suffocated. I don't know. All I know is what you guys just told me now, that her.
Fabian claimed he had no part in Victoria's death. According to him, he wasn't even in the room when she died. But detectives quickly realized his version didn't add up. Witnesses had seen Fabian outside smoking with Michelle while Jessica carried Victoria upstairs. Fabian's clothes were bloodstained, and despite his insistence that Jessica was solely responsible, some of Michelle's details implicated him directly. Detectives pressed him. If Jessica had done this alone, why were there signs of multiple people cleaning, moving, and disposing of Victoria's body? Why was Fabian's DNA expected to be present on evidence if he hadn't been involved?
Like, to tell you the truth, when she woke us up and told us that weird thing, and then started attacking Michelle, when Michelle said that, I want to tell you, to be honest right now, I don't know if there was blood in there, but I know when I went to bed, the kitchen was clean. Okay? That's what I know. Okay? Okay? But, because I was everywhere, I was trying to, you know what I mean? And I wasn't paying attention, you know what I mean? But I know when she was hitting Michelle, blood, right there, there was blood coming from Michelle. There had to have been there. I've seen it. You know what I mean? Coming when she was hitting her. It was all over Michelle.
So let's focus on that for a minute, because it was something.
So then maybe I was like, then that's when Jessica was like, wow, we cleaned this blood up. We're like, oh, okay. We were scared. We were scared for our lives.
So let's talk about that for a second, because that's something that I'm very confused about.
Okay. Me too.
Is you guys are fighting in the kitchen, Michelle's bleeding on the kitchen floor.
As we're fighting.
Hang on. Just let me explain to you how I understand what you've told it to me, and then you can clarify for me.
Okay.
And maybe we can go back and forth, because what you've told me so far doesn't make any sense to me, okay? In the midst of all this craziness and irons and fist punches and scratches and threats, and you guys are scared for your life, and this chick's acting a fool, all of a sudden she stops and says, let's clean up some blood.
No, she.
Hang on, so let me just, that's how it's playing in my mind based on what you told me. And so that doesn't make any sense to me.
Fabian had no real answers. He and Michelle tried to point fingers at Jessica, but the forensic evidence told a very different story. The autopsy showed Victoria had been beaten, stabbed, suffocated, and sexually assaulted. Doctors also found she had an HPV infection, but there was no trace of meth in her system, directly contradicting Michelle's claim that her daughter had been drugged. Even more troubling was the discovery of unidentified male DNA. It wasn't Fabian's. And when Michelle hinted in her interrogation that she allowed other men around her children, investigators began pressing harder, and she revealed the most horrifying details which stunned the detectives.
One question, and it's a very serious question. Okay. Who was raping your daughter? Who was assaulting your daughter?
She's 6 years.
Who was sexually assaulting your daughter, Michelle? Because you knew about it.
That was my ex-boyfriend.
That was your ex-boyfriend?
Yes. And that's why I got rid of him.
What's his name?
David Hernandez.
Is he assaulting your son as well?
Not that I know of.
Michelle.
Because my son is barely with me. He's mostly with his
Michelle.
father.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
I don't know.
When did
Wait,
Fabian...
time out.
Yeah. No.
What the to be frank, what the does not really know me when it comes to child. Was he assaulting your son or not?
No.
Okay, that was the most, out of all the answers you've given me, that was the most deceptive answer you've given me all day. You need to, this isn't the time, that you're not in trouble for it, we gotta know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Was he assaulting your son as well?
No.
When did you find out that Fabian and Jessica were active with your daughter? When did you find out? And be honest.
Not too long ago.
Not too long ago. Okay.
Because if I would have known that, I would have totally get out.
So, how much were they giving her so that way they could assault her?
Maybe quite a few.
They gave it to her quite a few times. Okay.
How would they give it to her?
You just put it in her mouth.
Okay.
Like that.
How did she die last night? While she was being assaulted, how did she die? It's not what killed her.
Probably contributed to it. We know for a fact that this is not what killed her. How did she die, Michelle?
Okay, let's go back. When did you find out that Fabian was having sex with your daughter, with Victoria? How long ago?
Just recently.
Just recently?
What is recently?
Like
How many days?
days, weeks,
Days.
days?
A couple of days.
Like a couple of days, like 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days?
2.
2 days. Okay. And when did you find out that Jessica was also assaulting your daughter? Were they doing this together?
Yes.
Okay.
What was Jessica saying?
Just shut up.
What was Fabian saying?
He wasn't really saying much. He was just.
And you just stood there and watched? You just let them do this to your daughter? Yes?
I should have stopped it.
And then how long after he did on your daughter did he have sex with you?
Like 15, 20 minutes.
How long was Victoria alive after she was, or was she dead after she was? Did they kill her then? I need to know.
Yes.
Yes to what?
They killed
When? When they her? And how did they kill her?
You were there, you watched it.
her.
Explain that to me, I don't understand. He ripped her so hard she died?
He covered her mouth.
With what?
Tape.
Okay. I thought you said she was screaming.
She finally, because it's the mouth tape. If it gets wet.
Michelle,
She,
stop. Let's go back to when we were being honest. This is your girl, Victoria, who is being held down on a bed so an adult man can her.
Who killed her?
Fabian and Jessica.
How did Fabian and Jessica kill Victoria? Michelle, how did they kill your daughter?
I'm not holding her down.
How are they holding her down? Because if I hold on to Corey's arms, it's not going to kill him. Where were they holding her?
I don't remember.
Whose hands were on her neck?
Fabian's hands because he was on top of her.
And whose hand was on her mouth?
Jessica.
When he was done, when he did it on your daughter, was she dead already? Or was she still alive?
She wasn't moving.
After he was done, did they do anything to ensure that she was dead? What did they do to make sure that she was dead, Michelle? No, that's not good enough. What did they do when they were done with your daughter and holding her by her neck? We're way past playing any games here, girl. Did they do anything?
They stabbed her.
Okay.
When you guys started having with Victoria, where did it start? In the living room or in the bedroom?
The bed.
In the bedroom? Whose bedroom?
In hers.
In hers?
Michelle, were you clothed or were you naked?
I was clothed.
Was Jessica clothed or was she naked?
She had her top off.
And Fabian, you said he had his shorts on with his exposed?
He had them pulled down, but he had no shirt on.
And was Victoria?
Yeah. She had her pants off.
Who took Victoria's clothes off?
They took the pants off. Jessica took her shirt off.
What did you do with her underwear? What did you do with Victoria's underwear?
Took them, put them in the laundry basket.
You took them and you put them in the laundry basket. Why? What was on them?
From Fabian.
What else?
Blood.
And why was there blood on them?
Because he penetrated.
Because he penetrated her.
And then 20 minutes later, you had with Fabian?
How long have you been assaulting your daughter?
I never assaulted my daughter.
Okay. How long have you been inviting men into your house to assault your daughter?
The only two that I know of is David and these.
Okay. But you've allowed it.
No, I kicked him out. But then I found out about them too, and then
What did David do to your daughter?
he was like trying to kiss her on the lips and stuff like that. And
Did he
he was trying to put his fingers down there. And
Did your daughter?
no, I took her and got tested, and it came out negative.
As word of the crime spread, Albuquerque was shaken to its core. Outside the Arroyo Villas apartments, neighbors gathered with candles, teddy bears, balloons, and flowers. At Victoria's school, teachers struggled to process what had happened to a child they had seen just hours earlier. The police chief himself called it the most horrific act he had seen in his career. and the community's grief quickly turned into outrage. How could a mother allow such people into her home? How could a child's life end in such betrayal? In the end, the three suspects faced different legal outcomes. Michelle Martens avoided a first-degree murder conviction by accepting a plea deal, child abuse resulting in death and evidence tampering. Her sentence, just 12 years in prison, outraged the public. Fabian Gonzales, after his own plea, received 37.5 years. Jessica Kelley, believed to have delivered the fatal blow, was sentenced to 44 years. But the lingering questions have never gone away. Whose DNA was found? Was there another man involved? And why, even in the face of overwhelming horror, did Michelle Martens continue to shift her story instead of seeking justice for her daughter? Victoria Martens should have been celebrating her 10th birthday. Instead, her name is forever tied to one of Albuquerque's darkest tragedies. A child failed by the very people meant to protect her. A case that revealed not only cruelty, but deep cracks in the system meant to safeguard children. Even today, her story haunts investigators, neighbors, and anyone who has ever read about what happened in that apartment. Because when betrayal comes from inside the home, the danger is closer than anyone can imagine. The world is filled with secrets, and in this vault, we open the darkest ones. If this story left you shaken, remember, there are many more waiting to be uncovered. Subscribe to Grimvault, hit the bell, and join us as we expose the shadows that most would rather keep hidden. Until next time, stay watchful, because evil often hides in plain sight, because there are more stories the world tries to forget. And here, we remember them.